Good morning, you're watching Morning at NTV. Today is supposed to be, is it this evening, the official start of the Ramadan month for our Muslim brothers and sisters. And I said, you and I who's Christian or who's of any other religion, we must support because we work with them. Some of you are married to them. And sometimes there are misconceptions. You don't know how to really go about this month. And for you, our Muslim brothers and sisters, to set you into Ramadan. Joining me is a senior consultant for Center for Arbitration and Dispute Resolution and also a senior consultant with the Uganda Police, Professor Sadat Muhammad. Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So is anyone allowed to give you a salam?
Yes, because salam, the ideology of salam is to promote peace.
Okay.
When you if you travel to different countries like Iraq, you'll find in Iraq there are so many non-Muslims.
Yes.
Even Tariq Aziz was a non-Muslim. And when you go to Egypt, there are so many churches. So the word salam means peace be upon you.
Okay.
When I grew up in Catholic churches, where I grew up, where I used to go to church, whenever there was a ceremony, we would shake hands, okay. Peace be upon you.
Yes.
But for the Muslims, it's continuously, every day. So, and it is one of the canons to promote social cohesion in the community. You wish others good. So there is no limitation that salam should only be to the Muslims.
Okay.
It is a longer misconception.
Yeah, anyone can say to you and you can also say to the other person.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, when I'm greeting the Archbishop Ruanga, I use salam alaikum.
And he replies.
And he replies very because
good
he's intellectual.
Cohesion. Good. He understands
yes.
the point of it.
He understands the intellectual analysis of it.
Great. This is the you start this evening or you started the month of Ramadan?
No, today is 29th of Shaban.
Yes.
And if the moon appears tonight, then the fasting will start Wednesday. If not, it will be the next day. Okay. Because Islam is dictated on scientific
on the site of
the moon.
Mm. Okay, so let's understand Ramadan, because from what I know, is it 30 days of fasting and prayer?
Yes.
And you were telling me off air that it's compulsory to pray, but it's not compulsory for many other things. What are those other things that are not compulsory but would be ideal if you accompanied them with your prayer?
As you know that Ramadan, the way Allah said in the Quran that all other deeds can be delegated to the angels, but for the Ramadan, He Himself, the King of Majesty and Supremacy until the day of reckoning, says in His power that I'm responsible for Ramadan.
Yes.
On that contention, on that point, you'll find that during Ramadan, a person is supposed to pray like any other day. However, the difference between this month and other months is that it has a lot of rewards. When you fast the whole Ramadan, then you fast another 6 days in Shawwal, it is like you have fasted the whole of the year. And when you do one good deed, it is multiplied into 10 deeds.
During the month of Ramadan.
So there's a lot of bonus bonus is too much in Ramadan. So that's why a lot of people try to do the best. And also, when you fast with good intention and you have fasted, you are assured that all your sins are cleansed. So you become like, you have no sins at all.
I like this clarity because I've always seen my Muslim friends when they're fasting during the month of Ramadan, I think, which is most Christians misunderstanding, they say, oh, you're being so polite and you're being so good during the month of Ramadan. Whereas I guess that's the point. If you are good, as you said, your good deeds are multiplied. Does that mean the giving as well? You must give.
Giving is always there, but the point is in Ramadan it is 1 month. And it should be like a learning curve so that you gain something like you have gone to university to take you throughout the year.
Yes.
But the problem is other people after Ramadan, then they stop. But it should be like a university. When you have graduated, those skills of mannerism, behavior should be seen throughout the modesty. Yes.
Okay. So from what I read, and I want you to clarify on this, is that before the month of Ramadan, there's 2 months before that, which is sort of the planting season. Is that for everyone? What does that entail?
A planting season?
Yeah, they said you must pray differently to prepare yourself, sort of.
Because there are some days, like in Shaban,
yes,
which are more recommended to fast, but they are not obligatory.
Okay.
They are option. Islam, there are things they have made sunnah, and others have made them obligatory. When they talk about sunnah, they are the teachings or the practices of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him. What did he do? But he did not make it compulsory. For example, if I fast the whole Ramadan, 28 or 30 days, it is not compulsory to fast the other 6 days.
Okay.
But if I do, I will get the reward of fasting the whole year. So it is upon me to do
choose
the 6 days, but only the 20 or 30 is what I have been ordered to fast.
Okay. So you entered the month of Ramadan. You obviously have to pray. Now, obviously, you're senior consultant. You have to still work.
Of course.
You're a family man. You still have to. The day goes on.
Yes.
It doesn't change because there are 30 days of Ramadan.
Yes.
How can Muslims carry themselves, or what is the do's and don'ts of carrying yourself through Ramadan? Whether you're someone who still works, whether you have a family, what are the do's and don'ts that are clearly stated?
Islam has not limited people to work during Ramadan. You can lecture, you can go to universities, you can do the business as like any other normal person. But the question is that behavior, the modesty of behavior in whatever you do. How do you behave with your people at work? Because Islam, one of the mechanisms of Islam is that you should treat the people surrounding you with the highest modesty, so that the way they see you, the way you behave, should be the signal of Islam. You don't talk about Islam. How do you behave as a person? She's the most signal in Islamic jurisprudence. Okay. Modesty is very important. And the other position about work, yes, in other countries like who have Islamic Sharia structure, during the month most people go for holiday. But we are living in a non-Islamic state. You have to earn, you have to live. And then there is no even an ayah, there is no authority from the Quran that when you work during the Ramadan, you're committing any sin. So we work.
Are there certain jobs I can't do? Because you were telling me that what you do, if it sort of aligns with your, because if my job, for example, I work in a brewery and I sell alcohol.
Alcohol is prohibited from the Islamic jurisprudence.
But you can't tell me there's no Muslim who works in that sector.
You know, there are some circumstances, like one person when I was doing also the Vinte, somebody said prostitution is necessarily evil, discuss. And this is something that other scholars have argued differently, that it is also a sin of commercial. But however, in Islam, alcohol is not allowed. Flavia, I'm not
Consumption of alcohol is not allowed.
No, even if me, I say, you know, doctor, buy him alcohol. If I buy for you alcohol, we get the same sin. If I sell it, I get the same sin, even worse than the other person who's drinking it.
If I don't directly sell it, and I work in a place that sells it.
Even if you tell me, you know, Sada, when you leave Serena, on the top of the roof there is a bar.
Yes.
You and me have committed alcohol.
No way.
Because why would you direct something any evil, what you don't commit, what you don't take? So Islam has given a law. So
even recommending a bar to me is a sin.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And we at times when you say, Flavia, you know, birthday, can I get wine? When I buy wine on your birthday, you and
because you're not consuming it.
I get in law would be like aiding and abetting. So where you're aiding and abetting, I can go with you to a crime. I do something wrong. You has escorted me. You're
still part of it.
That is the Islamic.
I didn't
Sharia
realize
knowledge.
that it
is. So do not force your boyfriend, who is a Muslim,
to buy me alcohol.
To buy you alcohol, because you and him will be responsible. So in Islam, whether it is Ramadan or not in Ramadan.
Oh, okay, so this is for...
We are not supposed even selling it.
It's beyond the Ramadan
Not in commercial. Any commercial issues on alcohol is prohibited. Because we have also looked at the research from California and other countries. The problem of alcohol, how it destroys the bladder, it destroys the heart movements and the arteries. It causes hypertension. And many people have argued, scholars, on the effect of alcoholism in Europe.
Before we get into whether, you know, it's health checkups, what are the necessary things to do just to prepare for Ramadan, that you bring me to that point. I have a colleague who actually quit his position. And his case was, for example, in our jobs that we do here, if I'm on morning at NTV Professor and I don't align, as you said, with alcohol, and an alcohol company sponsors the show. He said that he has to quit because he can't align. And I thought to myself, doesn't the Quran also teach you to make a living and take care of your family? Does it not cover your means to an end?
No, Islam does, but everything, for example, I cannot. For example, if a person does prostitution, he can also earn some money, isn't it?
Yes.
But both the Catholic jurisprudence and the law of the state have been fighting these people.
Yes.
But some of them call themselves, but I'm self-employed. I'm doing my own business. I'm not insulting anybody. It is common. However, when it comes to Islam on alcoholism, as I've told you, some people are just victims.
Yes.
And when your time as a victim, it is not your intention.
Circumstances have dictated that that's what has happened to you. Yes.
So that way, some people like that, we pray for them, maybe, inshallah, to get better jobs. But that is the truth of the matter.
Okay, so there's health checkups, because even as a Catholic, not everyone can fast to certain lengths, because maybe your health doesn't allow it, or can't allow you to fast. So what happens to those who are unable because of health reasons, and what are some of those reasons that would not permit one to fast during the month of Ramadan, which is very important?
Islam is, as when you read the Quran is very, very clear at chapter 2, verse 185, where it provides that when Ramadan comes, there are people that are not supposed to fast.
Yes.
One of them are pregnant mothers, pregnant ladies.
Yeah.
A woman who has just given birth because she has to breastfeed the kid. The elderly who cannot fast because of the age. The other group, you'll find those are, we call it capacity, the young children who have not reached their maybe an adult age. Then the other group will be like Flavia traveling here to maybe USA. And you feel like long distances. Okay. However, the jurisprudence is now, initially people used to live more from Kampala. They go by ship. From here to Mecca, they could take 2 months. But given the modernity now, you can live from here to Saudi Arabia is 4 or 5 hours. That means now, if a person can, he can even fast during travel. That should
so that's given. No longer an excuse.
It might be an excuse because everybody...
The means of transportation.
Yeah, because even some people when they're traveling, others have to get medication, others feel differently. So that leeway is there. But if you can, that's okay. But if you cannot, you have been... Islam is very flexible. So when you look at Islam, it is too flexible. It is we who make it complicated.
Yeah, which is a misconception why people think it's set in stone.
Yes.
Okay. Apart from health checkups to know if I'm healthy or I can, what are those things that I should put in line to get ready before Ramadan starts?
One of them would be before fast is the intention, because everything is about intention. Okay. Intention is very, very important in Islam. Is that intention on what I'm fasting? Yeah, because it should not fast because like Friday you have this problem where you say I'm fasting for my boyfriend. Not fasting for yourself. For a boyfriend, for a husband. For a husband. One of the two. Yes. So you should be fasting yourself. And it should be at least say, okay, I'm going to be a Muslim. And it is one of the pillars of Islam. Yes. And you should say, I'm fasting as to comply with the pillar. Not fasting for the husband, not to give you a car, not to get married. It should be you. The intention should be you and God. That's why God... So my prayers don't include others? Which prayers? I can't fast for others. My intention can't be for the happiness of my children, for the health of my husband. No. Really? You should fast for yourself. Okay. This system of say, okay, I'm not... Like Flavia said, can you do Swarat? No Swara. But you know, for fasting, then at times you use the fasting as another way for the gym to control the weight, not the faith attached to it. So the weight loss is not also part of a good reason to fast? Yeah, but however, one of the advantages of fasting, according to California research, and there is another research which took place, they say that instead of going to the gym, during fasting, the metabolism process of the body works so hard, whereby the fats in the body are burnt. Yeah, so that this fat, where people get diabetes, pressure, the fats are broken down, and then during that process of fasting, the fats are burnt, and when they are burnt, the body is cleaned. So the best way of being more healthier is fasting. It's an added advantage. It should not be our intention, is what you're saying. It is an added advantage. So you said that you don't have to wear a hijab for your prayers to be understood. No. Why I said hijab is compulsory in Islam. A person to put on hijab. It is? Yeah, it's compulsory. Every female Muslim should be wearing a hijab. You know something very funny? When I grew up in Catholic churches, and even when I go to some places, Flavia, you're a Christian, aren't you? Yes. Do you see the Virgin Mary? Have you ever seen the Virgin Mary in one of the photos? In the photos, yes. How does it dress?
fully covered.
Why can't the Christian at least take one idea from the Virgin Mary?
We do, the rosary.
The rosary.
Yes.
No, I'm saying it is to everybody. Virgin Mary is to everybody, not
Okay.
only to the rosary.
Yes.
So that is an indicative that even the Christians putting on that veil,
A veil.
is a sign of faith, and is a sign of modesty and morality even to the Christian faith.
Yeah.
But you think it's only the nuns that
Who are supposed to dress a certain way. So your dressing is not important. But I want to now talk about the Christians, you know, the colleagues who are now going to be working with Muslims. I obviously know we have to make time for them to pray when they need to pray, respect. For example, me, I know I cannot bring food in front of my Muslim colleague and start eating. Provocation. What are the other things we can help, you know, in supporting our Muslim brothers and sisters?
Like you, when you work here, you might know there is a show around 6:30.
Yes.
And that's the period when the other lady, maybe Fatuma, Farida, others are going to break fasting. If you don't say, let me at least take over Farida's shading this time, so that at least he can go and fast. Those are the things that she should help with your other colleagues.
So if Farida's akaungezi is at 7,
yes,
I need to do akaungezi.
the kaungezi, what he can do, Islam is also flexible.
Yes.
Toward, because the kaungezi is 7, isn't it?
Yes.
He can get a date, one date. Maybe 5 minutes to time, whatever.
To break the fast.
He takes that to be fasting.
Okay.
One is enough. Then he continue the job in case that's the job and there's no person to do it. Okay. However, if it was somebody else who could do that, would be time. But at time with the time, some jobs like me, I cannot have like I've got a thesis I'm going to look at. I cannot say I set the date in Ramadan. I cannot look at your PhD because I'm fasting. No, because I have nobody to replace me.
Yes.
Yes. So you continue with the job.
Okay.
But flexibility is there. If there is some people like Flavia who want to help you, then that's okay.
Or Frank Warusimbi can read and Farida takes time off.
If Frank Warusimbi can help.
So during Ramadan, NTV needs to have a schedule where we understand that Farida and Hatma need to...
Yes, to be helped somehow. If that the management can also think about, because they have to break the fasting when they are not in a hurry. And they are not intimidated by the bosses. Then Hatma can also be when he say, "Mad, but I have to pray, then fast." But then the boss, then I'm not supposed. Maybe at times because of the code of conduct.
Yes.
Then the hijab might not be allowed in the studio, and these are some of the issues that.
Okay, so 2 things I've heard. One, give them space to break their fast within time, whether it's to pray, support them, and that means also that if there's a job, we can take over while they finish their tasks or their prayer, then we should do that. What else are we...
the other position also is do not provoke, because much as they are Muslims, you know, human is human. Flavio can say something so huge, much as, you know, women are very emotional. Then by responding to you, he has already almost...
He has broken the fast.
So do not provoke also.
Is that not getting you angry? Is that to not annoy you?
Yes.
So it's not certain ones that are deemed sexual in nature? It's just even to make you angry is also bad. It's
not very good.
Really?
Even normal life.
How can you exist with people because I wouldn't know what makes you angry or not. So
no, because you know what their words. For example, if I say, Flavia, I have evidence. I saw you in a hotel last week, and indeed, you know, this is a lie.
Yes.
However much Flavia is very patient, his adrenaline is going to increase.
Yes.
And then the mitochondria ratio to respond, if not a slap, can even also take action.
Oh, and then you've broken your fast. So if I anger you on Monday and I've broken your fast for that day, it has not broken your fast the entire Ramadan.
No.
So you can still pick up tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay, but that still doesn't mean that you go around annoying every single person, because you know the next day they can pick up. So be mindful
but even,
of our colleagues.
In normal life, as I told you, Ramadan is a university for the entire
life.
So people assume that good things should only be in Ramadan, but the entire life or the entire whatever, this should be the cone of promoting peace, social cohesion, living even with the non-Muslims with a lot of respect. When Khalifa of when Umar bin Khattab was a caliph, the ruler during the Islamic Empire, when he took over Byzantine Empire, there was a church around. And when there was a church around, he ordered the Muslims to slash around the church. Then, secondly, she told them put the mosque far away from the church. The Muslim asked why. They said, listen, Islam is not about what you say. It is the modesty.
Actions.
Let the other people see how you behave. Then that behavior will convince them to become Muslims. How I behave, how I talk, the trust, everything makes the behavior is more powerful than the talking. And that is this important signal of a Muslim.
Fantastic. Before I let you go, any final words as we wish everyone a happy Ramadan?
Inshallah, I think we shall have our Ramadan by maybe tomorrow, or if not tomorrow, the next day, if the sight of the moon is seen.
Yes.
I call upon the fellow Muslims and even the government of Uganda to support and also to live in harmony with everybody, because God chooses people to be Muslims or non-Muslims. So it is not my position not to respect you, Flavia, because you're not a Muslim. Yeah. Islam tells me to respect you so much. And it is on that perspective also I tell people that Muslims are not terrorists, because it is a common phenomenon that Islam is attached to terrorism. When you look at the history of terrorism,
yes,
when you look at around 1971, when the first terrorists took place in Chicago, were not Muslims. When George Washington was fighting for independence, he was called a terrorist. Nelson Mandela was banned, called a terrorist. In 1968, when Al Sharon tried to bombarded King David, and 250 people were killed. And these are all, Mandela got a Nobel Prize, Al Sharon got a Nobel Prize. Recently, in 2002, had the Tahoma building, whereby Timothy killed 200 students. He was not a Muslim. So the issue of terrorism, I say in all regions there are some bad people. For example, the Irish in the UK have been killing people massively because of the domain of Christian and others.
Yes.
So Islam is about peace. And when a person like the ISIS talk about killing the non-Muslims, we call them Khawarijites. These are hypocrites of Islam. They should even be killed.
Professor Sadat, you make a very passionate point, but we are out of time. But thank you so much. As you said, if the moon is sighted, by tomorrow you should have started your Ramadan. Yes. If I'm wishing you well, what do I say? Yeah? If I'm wishing you, inshallah is...
Inshallah.
Okay, so that's what I'm supposed to say.
Yes. But even you, when you're greeting me, you can say Salaam alaikum. There is no harm in greeting with the Salaam alaikum.
It's done. That is all I'm going to say now to my Muslim
so
brothers
peace be upon you, peace be upon you. That's the
Are
position.
we allowed to do this? Okay.
That is also another intention.
Provocation.
Provocation.
All right. So, of course, Ramadan Kareem to our Muslim brothers and sisters. You're still watching Morning at 10.